Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tech Point Africa podcast. I'm always excited to be here today, and I'm one of the hosts today. With me in the studio is
Bolu.
and
Chunga's room.
yes. Quickly, because I don't like wasting time like Emmanuel. You know that host. I'll just get into what you are here to do today. He actually begged me this morning not to throw shit at him. I didn't promise. Anyways, okay. Today is another beautiful day in the month of October. And wait, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 16 days to the Modern Workplace Africa Conference, holding here in Lagos at the Landmark Event Center on October 21st. 16 days. We are counting down already. And if you've not yet registered to attend, you are wrong. It's like I should give you a backstory, but yes, you will see the backstory soon. So if you know, I'm not threatening. If you want me to keep my job, you better go to modernworkplaceafrica.com and register. If you're an executive, you can get an executive ticket. And if you're an HR professional, you can also get an HR first ticket, and that's because these two stages are dedicated specially for HR professionals and executives. And what is going to happen there is not just like talks. There will be master classes where you have to learn from people who have been in the industry for more than 10 years and I've seen different experiences. You're going to ask questions, you'll be able to network and also have access to other benefits. So go to modernworkplaceafrica.com right now, pause this video or pause this audio, go there right now and register. And I'm looking forward to see you there. And till further notice, I'll keep bothering you to register. Maybe next time, if you don't see me on the podcast, I will commission another person to do it for me. So I'm on your neck. So yes, today, let's quickly go into money matters, even if the money is not going to touch our hand. It was in the news that a private equity firm, Alterra.
It's not Yoruba.
I was going to say
I'll show you something. What do you mean that it's not Yoruba?
I think it's Alterra.
Alterra. So obviously
Why
just
you looking
correct
at
me
me like
and
that?
say it's not Yoruba.
No,
You did not even throw only me the shade. You are throwing the whole Yoruba kingdom a shade. What do you mean? Please, I'm representing you people well.
Yeah.
Alterra.
Yes.
Correct me.
Don't worry. Go ahead.
It's a private equity firm that is that has plans to invest in the African market, and it has planned to invest $500 million.
$500 million, yeah.
Yes, $500 million in the African. It's not just tech industry, different industries, logistics, blah blah blah. I think was going to give us the details and one particular catch that is there.
So you've already given them the details.
Yes, I didn't give them all the details.
The most interesting detail.
Okay, so Alterra Capital Partners, they've hit the first close of a $500 million fund. That's $140 million. And the fund it's a private equity firm, so it's not for early stage startups.
Okay.
You definitely have to be a growth stage company for them to even consider you. So yeah, they are investing the $500 million in Africa, and one of the investors is Aliko, Dangote. The other is David Rubenstein. So some of you may know him from the David Rubenstein show, where he once interviewed Dangote. You remember the story where Dangote said after he once had to withdraw, I think $1 million or so, and then took it to his house and then returned it the next day.
Oh, I know. It was $10 million. I remember it.
Yeah, $10 million.
Yeah.
So it was.
Oh, that was the interviewer. Interesting.
So I hope I'm correct, Sha, but yeah, I think he was the one that the face matches the person. But yes, the two of them are backing the fund. So Alterra Capital Partners is just formed by former employees of Carlyle Group, and they've invested in Access Bank in the past. So
Mm.
Diamond Bank when it was Diamond Bank. So that's
Oh, okay.
Investment.
investment went over to Access Bank.
Access.
So yeah, that's it.
Which industries stand to
Healthcare,
gain?
telecommunications, logistics. Yeah, those are the industries they'll be primarily investing in. Like I said, it's not for startups.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
So,
growth stage companies.
So
or really large, really
Large
large businesses that have probably been around for a while or are doing really good numbers. They won't be doing.
I mean, judging from
million
how
dollars.
big the fund is.
Fund is,
I mean, not just how big. It's PE. They don't do give me 5% of your business and you collect $1 million. They typically do large rounds. So in Access Bank, they did I think $147 million.
so let's move from there to Paystack. Paystack has built an offline, did I say offline? An offline payment solution for the offline market that does not require POS machines. Chingozu is going to give us a quick rundown of what this is about and if it's something that is really, really exceptional as the people have taken it.
Which people?
People talking about it.
I don't. Well, moving on. So Paystack has built or they've launched virtual terminals, which is just like virtual accounts that multiple individuals can have access to. So if you've gone to let's say a mall or a supermarket to get stuff before, you've probably decided to pay with your card. Sorry, with a bank transfer,
Okay.
and you had to wait to confirm it.
Yeah.
And in cases where either the manager of the establishment is not available, you have to pray that the person is actually reachable by phone or something. Basically, it just elongates the time you have to stay, and not just for you, but also for the business because often you have to stand somewhere, and if it's somewhere like ShopRite, it could get crowded and all.
Yeah.
So with virtual terminals, you can now, as a business owner, you could have several account numbers that your employees can have access to. So they do not need to call one person now to confirm that a payment has been made. They can confirm it on their own. So yeah, that's basically a rundown of what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like that because it's good when a company build things to be able to suit every person in that market. And as you were explaining, what came to mind was some point of sales inventory management platforms or products that I've come in contact with, and one of them was like there's like a general account managed by the owner of the store who would be the admin, who would now open different sub accounts for say their salespeople or for different shops if they have more than 2 branches, if they have more than one branch, and like that. So with that, the people, the salespersons, the branch managers have like a separate account within that account, but they have limited access. The owner of the business can restrict their access, and I think that is what Paystack is doing with this. It's nice that it's coming from a fintech platform. I don't know, Shimba, do you know whether there are other fintech platforms, for instance, in Nigeria that have similar products?
So I suspect there are a few others who have similar products. I just can't remember anyone right now. But is it? It's not exactly groundbreaking. If I'll use that word, it's not groundbreaking because it's a solution that I think I've seen a few other fintechs or maybe financial institutions that have that. So it's not particularly groundbreaking. But I think what is important is what it points to. So last year the Paystack launched Terminal, which is
POS
basically their POS point of sale machines.
Yep.
And it tells me that now they're kind of expanding their coverage it's no longer just focusing on people who can pay with digital
Cards.
devices or with cards. Now you're looking at people who can pay with a point of sale machine. So this could just be smaller shops. It could be literally anyone actually. So yeah, it's basically them expanding their coverage to other people, and it's I mean I think it's also an interesting move. There's money point there with their POS. There's OP, we have Pampay, we have a few other smaller startups that are already there. So what I do not know right now is the progress that Paystack's terminal has made since it was launched last year. I think this should be about a year. I think it was launched towards the end of the year last. So this should be about a year. I don't know what progress it has made, because they were primarily online. So I don't know what progress they've made, what the penetration rate has been like, because I haven't come across a Paystack terminal myself. So yeah, I'm curious to know what the progress on that front has been, and then how they could possibly match up to existing.
Yeah, I think it's a huge market, and it's not even a matter of competition. It's about making something available for the market, for the enough for the market to use.
Money,
I'm not saying making money, like enough services for the huge market to go around in the huge market, because the informal market is larger than the tech enabled market, as it were. So if you are going into that market, I don't want to say it like it's a competition between Paystack, OP, Money Point,
I think it's
or
competition.
The market is a huge one.
I just think
doesn't change the fact that it's competition. So you have 50 something million people who have bank accounts, 53 million people who have bank accounts. If a new, and then we have about 120 million adults, I think, in Nigeria. If I decide to start a bank today, the existing players are still competition. So I think Money Point poses a strong competition, primarily because of their distribution game. So you have almost everyone using a Money Point POS. How are you going to change that behavior? Are you going to go to places that they currently don't cover? Do you want to target a different segment with your POS? Because that's actually the major problem. So yeah, I think it could be interesting to see how that market shapes up. Which, I mean, we don't have a lot of time. Onome is waving her weird flag, but I think I and Emmanuel were talking about this. We've talked about it several times. But what does the future look like for POS agents in Nigeria? Are we going to see a situation? Because the moment the vast majority of POS machines in this country are in the hands of POS agents, and if companies are trying to bring people online, because I know that MoneyPoint, for example, started scaling back and said, "Oh, we are doing business banking now." They started scaling down on that agency banking front. And if people like Paystack are coming in, what exactly does that say about that market?
Okay, if the fear is saturation, I think it's something we can look at some other time on this discussion, and it's a long-term play, and the market is for us to analyze, and we'll come back with more informed insight on the situation of the market and use of POS agents. We can move from there to the Minister of I don't just want to call his name because we're already used to him in the tech ecosystem. We just say Bosun Tijani, the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy in Nigeria. Bosun Tijani has revealed that the ministry has a plan to equip 3 million Nigerians with tech skills by 2027.
Yeah, so basically that's one of the plans in the blueprint that was released on the 2nd of October. I think that was Monday. And yes, they want to equip 3 million Nigerians with tech skills by 2027. So the plan is that those 3 million would stay in Nigeria, work for Nigerian companies, while 1.5 million. Okay. That's half will stay in Nigeria, work for Nigerian companies, while the other half will be exported, but preferably through remote work, right? They will
Okay,
still
so
be
that
in the
they will still be
country,
in the country.
right? So that, I mean,
Yes,
that
yes.
money they get, they spend it in the country, right? So that's it's just one of the many um, plans that the ministry has for the country. So other plans they actually have their plans in four pillars. So policy, they have plans for different policies. They have plans for equipping people with knowledge. They have plans for tech infrastructure, and I think just to make it brief, some of like the most interesting ones are um, they have this plan of increasing the amount of investments in Nigerian tech companies. So they want it to go from, I think they want it to be like increased by, I think, $1 billion every year, right? And this will take so the interesting thing about that blueprint is everything has to work together, right?
To achieve that
To
result.
achieve the desired result.
Yeah.
So it's okay. We want more investments,
Yeah.
but we need more
Talent.
right? We need people that can build good businesses that
Yes.
investors will be interested in.
Investing in.
Exactly. For those people to get the talent, there needs to be infrastructure. So there's also the plan to increase broadband penetration in the country, right? And I mean, if you look at it as a whole, it seems like a very awesome plan. But they did clarify that it's not the strategy. Right? This is what we want to do.
This is what we want to do.
But the strategy will come
much later.
Yeah.
It's nice because this is not the first time ministers that have ended CICT bodies, excuse me, have come out to say this and this is what we want to do, but it's as if this particular one fills people with hope because this particular person that is championing this cause has been in the tech ecosystem as old as Nigeria's tech ecosystem has been. So we are crossing our fingers and we are holding out hopes that they will be able to follow through with this. But I have some concerns which we might not discuss here today because we are want for time. And that is the fact that tech has proven to be a lucrative space industry for the past, let's say, half a decade or even a decade in Nigeria. And looking at how things are turning out, looking like the future is looking bleak, bleaker than what it was maybe in 2020 to 2022.
Really?
Yes.
I think the future is bright for tech.
Than bleak.
Yeah. I think it is.
So, yes, there were layoffs.
And they were shut down. And investment is thinning.
Investment is thinning, but we've still grown investments in Nigeria. Yes, this year there has been... So far I'm not tracking the numbers like back to back, but I know that there has been a noticeable slowdown. That will correct itself. It's not going to
eventually.
It won't be there for too long. So yeah, it will correct itself.
So the future for tech is not bleak.
I think the future is
okay. I'll join my skepticism with your optimism and hope for the best. But I'm always very bothered when it comes to training people with tech skills with the mind that they will be able to work in an industry. I fear for saturation, and I'm just looking for a way to find the balance that this ministry will find a balance to it. Yeah. Right, train people in business.
So it's important to just actually note that it's not just tech skills actually. So it's quite broad.
Okay.
It's I can't remember how they put it exactly. It's digital skills and skills that are also related. So it's not just going to be focused on developers, designers.
Okay, so adjacent tech roles,
exactly.
Business. Yeah, that would be fine. That would give the population like an awesome balanced thing. But that's what we look forward to seeing it. And it's the issue is always with implementation. Yeah. But we are holding out hope, and we want to believe that we're heading towards a good place. And we're going to end today's podcast by talking about a South African e-commerce platform. and the issue it has been facing, that's Takealot. And they've been facing some issues with the government, with policies and regulations. And the platform has been given several requirements to curb what the online intermediation platforms market inquiry report by the Competition Commission tags as dominating the e-commerce market. So the regulatory body is trying to control a possible monopoly.
Yeah, exactly.
So Bolu, please give us a rundown in 1 minute.
Yeah, so basically, Takealot is one of the biggest e-commerce players in South Africa. About 40% of online payments are made to Takealot. And what this commission that you mentioned wants to do is, okay, let it not just be only you, right? We want other players. You know, basically what we've seen with the US government and Microsoft in the past, what we are now seeing with US government and Google now. They just don't want one player dominating a particular space, because once
Give them too much power.
Yeah, they get too much power, and then it limits innovation in that space. So that is what is happening with Takealot right now. They've put in some, they want them to, break down, separate some of their operations, basically. But the thing is, this company, it's not as if this company is one remarkably rich company. It's not even a profitable company yet.
Yeah.
So,
yes, to start with.
Exactly. So why don't we? I think the government should be patient, right? This company still has an incentive to be innovative, because until they get to that Microsoft point where they're already making so much profit that they know what to do with, maybe they can now step in and say, okay, let's break this up to invite more people in. But I mean, I'm not an expert, but I mean, looking at, because I've read a little bit about what was happening back then and what is happening now. So I think, why don't give them a break, right? Let them get a hang of that market, because if you look at e-commerce in Africa, very few companies actually have a very strong grip on it. So let's see how it pans out for them.
Yeah. So, but from what we read, the government is not for, I don't want to say forcing, or it's making them to institute some things that will control how much revenue they are able to gather. And one of it is offering benefits under the historically disadvantaged person program. And some of the benefits includes customized onboarding for these people, a 3-month subscription fee waiver, and at least 2,000 rand. That is like $105 in free advertising credit.
Government might as well run the business now.
Right? But I don't know. I'm not on the side of the government. I just feel like I don't know what exactly they are saying, and people are not saying, for them to be coming against it.
If someone has offended you, meet him personally. You guys settle it. Because there's really no reason why a business that is not profitable, it doesn't matter the monopoly
outreach
that you think they have. There's really no reason why you should be chanting them, because that's what it is for me. You shouldn't be telling them how to. Are they flouting any rules? You're not seeing any evidence that they are. Are they suppressing competition? First of all, they are not even profitable, so they most likely are not doing that.
Yes,
if they are suppressing competition, you could do something. But not you preempting them and then saying,
you see a future, a professor. No, you can foresee a future where they are a monopoly and they will kill everyone.
Let's get to that future before you start.
The fear is unfounded. I think that is what I'm just hoping that they're able to get through this, because there are also other big competitors that they have themselves, that are global companies, Massmart, JD Group, TFG, and all of their competitors. And I don't know why the government is coming against Takealot specifically.
They've taken a lot this year.
They do rebranding.
Yes. If it's not people coming against them that their free delivery promise, they are not fulfilling it, to be something else. But I'm wishing them the best. Takealot.
You're not superstitious, but really, you should consider changing your name. You've taken a lot this year alone, so maybe
They should. They
Be
should.
your name with the
Should
follow you.
Okay, so we are going to end on that note. You might have noticed that we are in a rush, and that's because I'm here on the host seat, and it's not Emmanuel. Do whatever you're going to do about it.
Yes,
So, I
don't worry.
don't
Next
mean
week,
that.
Emmanuel will be back.
Yeah, you will
You
do.
won't be seeing her face.
No, they're not going to. They can't get me out of this podcast.
They can actually. Don't worry.
If you are, please, if you support me, please drop a comment. No, whatever coup they are planning.
Don't worry.
We are going to sabotage it.
Let's
We are
try.
going to
Not taking
sabotage
sides.
it. You can't get him away from this podcast. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today again. Don't forget, the Modern Workplace Africa Conference is still 16 days away. If you've not registered, go to modernworkplaceafrica.com. And if you also want to be a part as a sponsor, as an exhibitor, also go to modernworkplaceafrica.com. You will find the necessary contact on that website. I hope to see you there. I hope to meet you, and please call me when you see me. To our audio listeners, we are very, very grateful for always joining us. To our video listener and watchers, for those that are watching us on YouTube, thank you once again for joining us. You can drop your comments, your recommendations. We're always here to make things better so that you can enjoy us. And if you want to introduce this podcast to people that listen to it on audio, you can share links with them. Bolu?
Yeah, you can share links across Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Heart Radio, or anywhere else you get your podcast.
Thank you.
Radio.
Whatever.
Heart Radio.
Oduduwa is
Whatever.
proud of
Yes,
you
we are
guys.
proud of Dudua. Proud.
Oh, you guys
Thank
should.
Okay,
That accuse me of racism or
I at radio.
tribalism, sha, but really.
Who has time?
I hat.
Who has time?
I
Thanks
had.
for joining us once again. We have our newsletters, Tech Point Digest, The Workaholic, Equity Merchants, FinTech Today. We'll drop a link to all of them in the description. Make sure you're following us on all our social media platforms, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Yes, we would like to connect with you. Thank you once again for joining us, and see you in the next one. I want to see this face.